So let's jump right into a big high level project that is super hyped up that Easy just mentioned that is actually pumping. In the meantime, we kind of set the foundation for the market as a whole is kind of pumping. Mutants is at 30. I think apes are at 120 at this point, and that's across the board. When you look at not just the apes, which is not something that we want to continuously always go back to. There's projects that are pumping across the board. MoonBirds being one of them. I could pull up Dune, which is a great analytics piece that shows you kind of the look at what is going on with MoonBirds. So you kind of have the number of sales there. You've got, I believe the amount of holders here is at almost 6,600. So it's a popular project, and really I linked it in the chat there of a great thread on why MoonBird specifically is really taking off, and it really has a lot to do with this project called Proof Collective, which is 1,000 NFTs that are now sitting at 100 ETH. This project right here is based on a guy who founded this is Kevin Rose, and it's essentially a NFT that unlocks a Discord. It's essentially, I would say, you could probably make it out to be an alpha group of 1,000 people who have a ton of money in the NFT space, and MoonBirds are essentially a build out of a PFP off of this group. So Kevin Rose founded Proof. He has a podcast. He's a well-known person in the space. They founded Proof. Again, floor price sitting at around 100 ETH, and MoonBirds, as you can see here, the official Proof PFP for that project. So there was a lot of hype built up. Whenever you have a group that large that is made up of a lot of, I wouldn't call them influencers. I wouldn't say every single person in that Proof Collective is an influencer, but when you have people who are engaged in the space and have a ton of money, you're going to set the foundation right for having a sold out mint. So just TLDR here, we had a mint price at 2.5. Initially, there was going to be a Dutch auction. It was clear that the Dutch auction didn't need to take place because it wasn't going to fall past 2.5. So they ran an interesting kind of raffle here where I believe 7,600 people were able to take part and play or pay a certain amount, 2.5 ETH, for this MoonBird that's now sitting at about 18.5 ETH. I think it ran up to 24 ETH. So there's a lot to break down here. I want to get the chat's opinion as well as my colleagues here on why we maybe, other than the reasons that I kind of laid out here with the Proof Collective, with Kevin Rose being a founder, why we think that MoonBirds, essentially a pixel art 10,000 generative piece that we've seen 10,000 times over, is sitting at 20 ETH, and whether we think it'll sit there in the long term. So want to open that up to you and chat. Guys, let me know your thoughts.
Okay. I think to your point, I think you gave us an excellent breakdown of the project, why it ran the way it did. I think also part of that is the distribution, right? So like the ability to have people who have this mint pass be able to basically get some. And then you also have the entire entrance was raffle, right? So you didn't have the gas wars. You didn't have this issue there. And you have a very clear roadmap by a team of people who, it's Kevin Rose, to your point, but also Justin Aversano, who is, literally the number one influencer in like the NFT space. And then also a part of Proof Collective. And to your point, when you get this many people who are in a group and they all support each other and they all have the liquidity that they have, I think you have a project that's going to equal, success, right? Like at least in this first iteration of what they're doing. I do think that there's going to be a point. I don't know what that point is, because the space surprises me every day with the shit that we'll eat and still like call it gold. But like, and I'm not trying to, I'm not saying that applies to this. I'm just saying, I don't know. At some point we will hit a place where people are not going to spend that money without like having real conviction that is going to be worth that investment, right? Like, I've got the ETH right now, but I can't pull the trigger. 20 ETH is a lot of money. And like, I don't know enough about it. Now, do I think it's going to be successful? Yes. Do I think that if they hit their their roadmap points? Yes. If do they have a good cadence of distribution that keeps the community engaged and keeps them interested? Okay, cool. But like, I need to see that. People want to talk about what made Bored Ape so special and what the F did, Yuga do that was so special. They did everything right. They under promised, they over delivered. They didn't say they were going to give you something on a specific time frame and then did not give it to you at any point. I mean, everybody was like, yo, Yuga, Q1 is up in like 2 weeks. And then what, 3 days Q1 left. And it's like, yo, fuck it. Here's ApeCoin, right? So they have proven that they will promise something and they will execute, and they will do it at a level that not a lot of people are doing, right? Like the mutants were cool, not because like they were mutants. It was cool because like they had one-to-one traits. Like you didn't get a diminutive product through a secondary drop, right? You got one that was equal on par, and some people say cooler than the original. So yeah, man, I just think that like if this project continues to do what I expect for it to do and deliver on all the promises they're making, then absolutely, like MoonBirds has the potential, right, to be a blue chip. Do I think it's a blue chip just because it made this much money? No. Do I believe in the team? Yes. Would I spend 20 if I had 60? Yes, but I don't. So like, it's a matter of like, how much conviction do you have in the project and how much liquidity that you have that you're willing to lose, right? Like, because if they don't deliver, and you never know, I have seen people who have gone to be super successful, right? And everybody knows those stories, right? They're super successful in one thing and then they take on something else and everyone assumes they're just going to knock it out of the park and they fall flat on their face. Just because these two guys have done things like Proof Collective and Justin's photography and they're amazing doesn't mean that MoonBirds is going to equate to a product that everyone's going to love and want to be involved in and will be as applicable as something like that.